Hey everybody, good morning. James with A Affordable Bail Bonds coming at you live from Center City, Minnesota. Got some new exciting information for you. As you know, we've been following a lot of this bail reform and a lot of this other stuff going on right now around the state of Minnesota. And we have been given the privilege, we don't know a date yet, but we are going to be sitting down with Minnesota State Senator Mark Curran, that was the general author on Senate File 415, Combating the Minnesota Freedom Fund. That is going to be a Q&A. We're going to try to answer as many questions as possible, and we're going to get right to the point of it. What I wanted to touch on is a lot of you have been watching the news, a lot of you haven't been. I just happened to find something online last night that's actually very troubling, but anybody that lives in St. Paul in Ramsey County is probably familiar with County Attorney Choi, and he had made a statement saying that they are not going to pursue any kind of criminal charges if stuff's discovered during traffic stops, the way that we have read what his statement meant. Now, meaning, if you're pulled over for a broken tail light and you have dope on you, a gun or whatever, the real question is what's going to happen? Well, at this point, I don't know if anything's going to happen. And does this make our community safe, or does it make it, less safe? It's kind of common sense, folks. It doesn't make our community safer. It actually makes it worse. And between that and the Minnesota Freedom Fund and all this bail stuff going on, Ramsey County especially right now it loves releasing people on pretrial release. They got domestic violence court and everything else where people are getting released left and right. Now, for those of you that happen to make a lot more bad decisions than others, this might be a good deal for you. But in a whole, it's making the communities less safe. When you're releasing somebody without any kind of bail bond that's imposed upon them for their release before trial, it's in general not causing any form of accountability. We need accountability, folks. People getting released from jail, there needs to be accountability. After they're released, yeah, they have to check in with probation. Yeah, they got to check in with the courts, this and that. That's fine. But when you're releasing people and they're not having to pay money, there's no co-signers that aren't going to be out any money. There's nobody that's going to be out any money financially. For the criminals, this is a good deal because they can continue to go around and commit crimes without having to worry about ever posting bail because they're just going to be released again. I don't have to say this. Anyone that lives in Ramsey County or Hennepin County, the crime rate is going to skyrocket. This is no secret. And that is mostly because of our judicial system in both of those counties. And the scary part is it's washing over to a lot of our other counties right now. We're seeing a lot more of the releasing without bail in Chisago County, which is my home county, which is absolutely troubling to me. Washington County is absolutely horrible right now. And there's just other things going on where people are getting released. Pine County, Mille Lacs County, all these counties, this pretrial stuff's eventually going to hit the city and county that you guys live in. And if you think just because you're in some rural town or some rural county that this pretrial release isn't going to start affecting you, think again. It's going to. It's just a matter of time. This doesn't just happen in small ones. Let's see, we got Nicole on here. There's no risk of being released, which means there isn't any deterrent to not commit another crime while being out. Nicole, 100% right. That's what we've been trying to explain to politicians. Some of you that might be normally Democrat, I'm telling you to look at your party, okay? A lot of people don't like a lot of Republicans. A lot of people hate Donald Trump. It is what it is. We're not talking about red and blue right now. We're not talking about Donald Trump or Joe Biden. We're not talking about any of that right now. We're talking about our leadership in the state of Minnesota. Okay? The House Public Safety Committee has a chairman by the name of Mariani. Okay, Senate File 415 that Mark Curran had put together got through the Senate no problem. And we're going to probably post the link to what happened on that. But Democrats were going nuts. They're saying the Minnesota Freedom Fund is doing the work of God. They're not doing the work of God. They're trying to show a point that they've got all the money and that they like releasing criminals to the streets and there's nobody that can stop them. Well, Senate File 415, the only thing we were trying to do is to regulate the Minnesota Freedom Fund. They act as a bail bond company. They have billion, or I'm not going to say billions, that's not accurate, millions of dollars in their funds where they can just go post them. The Minnesota Freedom Fund was originally designed to get protesters out during the Floyd civil unrest. Well, a lot of the donors include a lot of the high-end movie actors, and I'm not going to mention any names in this video, but there's a lot of movie actors that you might lose respect for if you knew this. But the problem is, the other thing is the Freedom Fund's never been audited, and I personally, along with the rest of our community members, I'm sure, would like to know who's donating and where this money is actually going, because I bet you these donors, these movie actors, have no clue that this money is being used to release people wanted for gun crimes, violent crimes, raping, attempted murders, drugs. It has nothing to do with the Floyd stuff going on right now, the Floyd stuff that happened in the past. And that's what the Freedom Fund was designed for. So it doesn't even make any sense at this point. And it would be nice to know if these donors have any clue where their money's actually going right now, because I'm sure it was explained to them it was to get out peaceful protesters out of the Hennepin County and Ramsey County jail during the Floyd unrest. And it is what it is. And that's another thing. But Senate File 415, in conclusion, was designed simply to regulate the Minnesota Freedom Fund, like any other bail bond company in the state of Minnesota. They're handing out money. They're posting bails at jails just like any other bail bond company. And everyone, their heads blew up when the Democrats as well as the Freedom Fund found out people were trying to have them regulated. And all of you guys out there in the state of Minnesota should be asking yourselves why. It's simple regulation. All it was is to make them a licensed bail bond company and play by the rules just like everybody else in the bail industry. But no, because the Democrats love them. And I don't want to talk about different parties, but we can't ignore it anymore. This is a Democratic problem, and this is the Democrats have just as much to blame in this as the Minnesota Freedom Fund. And we need to start unseating some of these Democrats, folks. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, I mean, it's right there in front of you. The Democrats are the problem in the state of Minnesota right now. They're trying to do bail reform. They've done all this pretrial release. And, just recently last night, I saw an article, which this really upsets me. But apparently, County Attorney Mike Freeman, which has absolutely no backbone, we need to unseat him as quickly as possible, and not let him ever stay in office ever again. But they're trying to change it where it's not illegal to spit on a law enforcement officer. Now, I'm going to read this article quick. This was located on the Twin Cities Crime Watch and Information, but it looked like the original article stemmed from WCCO. It says the Hennepin County Attorney's Office is changing its policy on cases where someone spits on a law enforcement officer. Under a new policy, anyone accused of spitting on an officer's uniform or boots will not be prosecuted by Hennepin County. Well, and it says it's written in Minnesota law that anyone who intentionally throws or otherwise transfers body fluids or feces at an officer is guilty of a felony. Well, however, Hennepin County is now only prosecuting felony cases when a person spits on the officer's hands or face. So, and the rest of the article goes on to say, we think the harm caused by spitting on the boot or uniform does not rise to the level of spitting on the face or hands, says Hennepin County Mike Freeman, which is the county attorney for Hennepin County. So anyone living in Hennepin County, you got to love that guy. Mike Freeman, you are a disgrace. I think you need to grow a backbone. I think you need to get the city back for our communities as well as the state of Minnesota. I don't know what's going on, what you're thinking, where your thought process is on any of this, but Freeman, you got to go. And I did some more research to everybody out there. It looks like, and this was an article a couple of years ago, but it actually does look like out of 87 counties in the state of Minnesota, only 13 people have had anybody running against them for county attorney. Folks, this isn't good. We need to get new county attorneys. We got to get new ideas. We got to get people that are willing to do what's right. Spitting on anybody right now, and even before COVID, spitting on somebody, you got AIDS, hepatitis, you got all kinds of stuff that could kill an officer potentially. Now, all of you out there that hate cops, I don't know what to tell you, okay? But you know what? Those of you out there that hate cops, when the shit hits the fan, and it will eventually. You'll always need a cop at some point in your life. You'll need them at some point. Don't call 911. And people that don't respect cops, I've never gotten it. They're the first people that people call. The people that hate the cops the most are they're the first ones to call 911 when they need protection. You got Democrats all over the United States. You got people that hate cops, but yet they still have security detail by state police in every state. And it's ridiculous. Okay? Cops are there to serve and protect. Yeah. Not every cop is bad. We have excellent law enforcement in the state of Minnesota, and there's good cops everywhere in the United States. Is there bad ones? Absolutely. Are there good? Are there more that good than bad? Absolutely. But you can't blame one bad cop and make all the cops bad. Okay? These cops do a shitty job. I'm a former first responder myself, and I saw things and heard things many times of what's going on. And I saw how people are treated in terms of first responders, and it's ridiculous. And it needs to change, guys. And we're very excited to sit down with Minnesota Senator Mark Curran. Again, we don't have a date, but we're going to be doing Q&A, and we're going to be talking about bail reform and probably a few other issues going on around the state of Minnesota. A lot of these counties are making it very hard on bail bond companies, as I've mentioned in previous videos. Washington County likes shutting off the bail bonds around 9 or 10 o'clock at night during the week. I think it's actually 7 days a week now, but that alone is unconstitutional. You can't just tell somebody they can't post a bail bond after 10 p.m. at night because you're shorthanded and you don't know how to run a staff. All you have to do is take the bail bond, put it in a basket, and forward it over to the courts the next morning. It's really not that hard. And, Washington County especially, I know attorneys have contacted them, letting them know that their behavior is unconstitutional. But in our opinion, the court order from the judge doesn't say you must post bail by 10 p.m. It says must post bail. So in our eyes, a lot of these jails are in contempt of court from the judge's order. And it just nobody wants to tackle it and look at it that way. You got Mille Lacs County that's not taking out of custody bonds anymore after 4:30. They're taken in custody only, and they force bail bondsmen to walk through the courthouse and go to the court administration and do all that. It never used to be that way. You just hand in the bond at the jail and you're good. Out of custody, out of county bonds in Minnesota, technically you're supposed to be able to post a bail bond at any state, I'm not going to say any state, at any county facility in the state of Minnesota. So if it's a Mille Lacs County bond and you happen to be driving by, say, I don't know, Hennepin County or Anoka County, you should be able to drop that bond off at that county. And that's the way it used to be. And that's the way it's supposed to be done. But with all the liberals and the left and the Democrats trying to change everything, they are officially trying to push the bail industry out of the state of Minnesota. Folks, bail bonds are a very important part of the criminal justice system. When you go to jail, if you make a bad mistake, you post bail and you get out. When you post bail, we have co-signers. You have a bail bond company on the hook. You got the co-signers on the hook. You got the defendant on the hook. And there's accountability because there's money on the line. If that person jumps court, misses court, or whatever, then everyone owes the money until the bond's otherwise resolved. That's when bounty hunters are hired. Myself, I'm a retired 18-year bounty hunter. I caught a lot of people. I worked over 4,000 cases. And what I can tell you is, even then it was kind of catch and release. We would go through weeks, even months, trying to find somebody, and the judge would release them right away. So, but at least when they're on a bail bond, there's accountability. Sorry, Nicole, I just saw another comment come up with you. I know it's kind of during the day, everyone's at work, and fortunately I'm at work too, but I plan on singing and hooting and hollering about everything going on in Minnesota as much as I can. I'm tired of people being hidden in the dirt and all this stuff getting buried in the dirt for people not listening and just don't care about politics. Don't be that person that doesn't care about politics anymore, people. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you need to get up and you need to start seeing what your leadership is doing and what they're doing to protect you. Okay? There's bad Republicans and there's bad Democrats. Okay? It happens. Every party has negative people, but we're putting them there. So when people are complaining about this politician, this senator, or this House rep isn't doing what he's supposed to be doing or what he promised, That's your fault. That's the people's fault. Do more research before you vote for somebody. Okay? They need to be outed. We need to get chairs back. And frankly, people, the only way we're going to get law and order back in the state of Minnesota, we need to turn the state red. Okay? We need to start unseating Democrats, and we need to turn the state red. It's simple as that. See, and this is a prime example. I'm looking at some of the comments here, but Nicole, I knew none of this stuff was going on. Thank you for the education on these items. See, Nicole, I appreciate you watching. And, all it takes is one person, and hopefully this video gets shared all over the state of Minnesota. Oddly enough, a lot of people don't know this is going on. And I've gone to numerous fundraisers for politicians. So my last one was at Eric Lucero's, and he's a House rep for the Wright County area. And when I went there, I stood up and I had enough. I let everybody know what was going on. I told everybody to raise their hand if they knew what the Minnesota Freedom Fund was. And nobody did, except for me and the guy that was with me. And then we had a reverend there, a very nice guy. I got to meet him personally. I want to say his name's Timothy Christopher, I believe, Reverend Timothy Christopher. But you guys might know him because he's been working with the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus to allow a permit to carry people to carry guns at the state fair. But I got to meet him too. And he didn't even know about any of this. He knew about all the crime going on, but nobody knew about this Freedom Fund. Nobody knows about these politicians. And guys, the sad part is right now is these county attorneys are releasing people left and right. Judges are releasing people left and right. I don't know if they're sympathetic and they feel bad for people because they say they don't got money, but I have an awesome conclusion to not ever having to worry about bail. Everybody ready? Don't commit crimes and don't go to jail. Jail was never meant to be fair. It was meant to be a judicial system. It's meant to keep the community safe, and it's meant to keep you in line. And you do the crime, you do the time. It's simple as that. Okay? People don't care that you don't have a job when you're out robbing people. That's why you're out robbing people. So why in God's name would we release you with no bail when you don't have a job and you're out robbing people because you don't have a job? So you just got released out of jail with people knowing you don't have a job, and you were robbing people because you needed money and you had a drug problem, whatever it may be, and now you're back on the street. I'm pretty sure you're not going to head over to the local church and repent for everything you're doing. I'm pretty sure you're going to go ahead and continue to do what you were doing before and rob people. Carjackings. I was trying to find the article, and I don't know if somebody can find one here, but it looked like Woodbury had a huge carjacking problem. That's in Washington County. And it's creepy. Why do you think carjackings are happening? Because Washington County, they're not going to do anything. These cops put all their time and effort into their case. They arrest these people. They bring them to jail with a strong case, and the judge releases them right away with no accountability, no bail, no nothing. It's ridiculous. It's unbelievable, folks, and our state's falling apart. I used to be proud of Minnesota, but when you go out of town and you tell anybody you're from Minnesota, just watch your reaction. People don't even respect people from Minnesota anymore. It's ridiculous. I'm very excited to do the Q&A with Senator Mark Grant, I'll tell you that. I don't know what to say anymore. Folks, you really got to reach out to your leadership, and you got to start asking your leadership, why is this going on? Is this going on? Bail bonds in the state of Minnesota, they're not going anywhere. These counties are trying the best they can, as well as Governor Timmy Walz. Everyone wants the bail bond industry gone, and they just want people released. And if that happens, your crime rate's going to go up. There's not going to be any accountability. There's going to be warrants left and right. And in fact, while we're sitting here, I'm going to see what I can find here. But I don't think I did this before, but I actually called every single county in the state of Minnesota and asked for their warrant counts. And mind you, this was done in March. So I'm just going to read off some of the main counties here. But this was done in March. And a lot of these counties, by the way, weren't very cooperative. They don't want to give me the warrant numbers, which either they're embarrassed by it or they don't think they have to. Which, by the way, warrant numbers are public knowledge. So on March 3rd, Anoka County of 2021, March 3rd, Anoka County, they had 4,564 unanswered warrants. Folks, 4,564 unanswered warrants. Are you kidding me? Do you think that's people that are out on bail? Or do you think a lot of that is people getting released on pretrial where they have no accountability, where they're not scared about not going to court? Well, Clay County, 4,700 warrants. That was on March 4th. And here's my cat, by the way. He likes being nosy. And he likes photobombing, by the way. 4,700 warrants in Clay County. Absolutely ridiculous. Dakota County, March 5th, 2021. 6,008 warrants, guys. 6,008 warrants in Dakota County. Okay? Hennepin County, March 9th, 2021. Which, by the way, they were uncooperative. They didn't want to give up the warrant numbers. So it took a little haggling and trying to figure out who we can talk to get that. 19,655 warrants in Hennepin County. 19,000, folks. 19,000 warrants. Okay? Kennebec County. This was actually impressive for Kennebec County. 251 warrants. Okay? That's amazing. Let's see what else we got here. Mille Lacs County, March 2nd, 2021. 499 warrants. That doesn't sound like a lot, but for Mille Lacs County, everybody, that's a lot of warrants. And that doesn't include tribal federal warrants either, or any kind of federal warrants. Olmsted County, March 2nd, 2021. 1,644 warrants in Olmsted County. 1,644 warrants. Pine County, March 2nd, 2021. 2,299 warrants. Okay? Pine County, 2,299 warrants. I also want to point out that Pine County was the birth of pretrial release, and it was their bright idea. From what we understand, it was somebody possibly in probation that had the bright idea to start a pretrial release program. Well, how's that working for you, Pine County? Kind of backfiring now, isn't it? Ramsey County, March 2nd, 2021. And again, this was in March, folks. I haven't called currently in September, but this was in March. So I can guarantee you these numbers aren't going down, they're going up. Ramsey County, 9,465 warrants. 9,465 warrants, folks. Okay? Scott County, March 4th, 2021. 4,117 warrants. 4,117 warrants. Are you kidding me? Okay? Stearns County, St. Cloud area, March 2nd, 2021. 2,842 warrants. 2,842 warrants. Okay? Washington County, March 2nd, 2021. 3,515 warrants. Folks, Washington County, that is beautiful Stillwater, Bayport, Newport, all that stuff, okay? This is another county that likes practicing pretrial as well, releasing people without having to post bail. 3,515 warrants. Everybody, folks, start thanking your cops, start thanking your law enforcement in the state of Minnesota, because you know what? These warrants would be a lot higher if they weren't picking away on them and trying to do their jobs. Kind of hard for law enforcement to do their jobs when they're not allowed to do their jobs. So just remember, anybody, let's say anybody living in Washington County, you got 3,515 people that are criminals that have warrants. If it wasn't for the police, they'd probably be knocking, kicking your door in. They'd probably be hurting and robbing you. So stop with this rhetoric with hating the police. Start respecting the police and realize they're doing what they can. Their hands are tied. Some police departments have horrible leadership, especially Minneapolis. Chief Arredondo, you're a pussy. You need to resign. You need to start respecting your officers and backing your officers' play. You need to let them get back into what they need to be doing. As for the Minneapolis City Council, you're a bunch of cowards. You try to put something on a ballot that nobody understood, trying to disband the Minneapolis Police Department. You're cowardly. You're going to make Minneapolis fall to the hands of the criminals. And anyone living there, I feel bad for you. I recommend selling your house and getting out of there now. I don't know what else to say about this, folks. I'm going to try to call and get more up-to-date warrant numbers, but there you have it. Data right there. This is data that is not shared with the state of Minnesota. We have reached out to Fox 9. We have told them about the Minnesota Freedom Fund. We have told them about the amazing amount of warrants that are in the state of Minnesota right now. And because of Fox 9, it doesn't fit their narrative of pretrial release and their belief on people not being held into jail, rather getting held and getting sent out back out to the streets. Fox 9 has refused to even get back to us regarding this or let us know if they'd be interested in doing a story on it. So with these numbers, I'll just show you these pages here. I'll try to hold it up as best as I can here. But these are all the counties, okay, with their warrant numbers. This is the second page. I'll try to hold it out here a little bit. And this is the third page, okay? Third page here. I didn't have a chance to add these up. I just grabbed this out of my basket here because I wanted to share it with you guys. But I can promise you that there is well over 100,000 plus warrants in the state of Minnesota right now, okay? I also want to point out that there was a House file that was a couple of them actually. This one was House File 583. This was the sister file to Senate File 415 for charitable bail organization requirements, meaning to regulate them. And all they simply wanted to do is regulate them. Simple as that. And this is a House file. Oh, sorry. There we go. House File 583. And this is one Chairman Mariani decided he did not want to hear on the Public Safety Committee because he's a coward. And who knows how much, who knows who's getting money from where in terms of donors. Just saying. That's House File 583. That was sister file to Senate File 415. And then we come to House File 128. This was specifically a House file and legislation that was put through to the House, again, to Chairman Mariani, House Public Safety Committee. And this was for making public knowledge who's bailing who bailed them, the information, and making all data in jails public information. As you can imagine, the Democrats' heads exploded on this one because they don't want anybody to be able to call and say, hey, yeah, they bonded, the Minnesota Freedom Fund bonded me, or hey, no, I didn't have to post bail, they just released me. So this was House File 128. I encourage everybody to look this up too. This was making the jails and counties liable, or not so much liable, but responsible for releasing information upon request that would otherwise be private, which this one was thrown to the wolves as well by Chairman Mariani. House File 415, that's the one we already talked about. So I just want to point this out, folks. Okay. These three bills right here would have made Minnesota safer. They would have made Minnesota safer. I don't think it would have been a dramatic change, but it would have made Minnesota safer. So are the Republicans to blame or are the Democrats? I'm pointing fingers now. The Democrats are to blame. Specifically Chairman Mariani of the House Public Safety Committee and Governor Timothy Walz. Stop voting these people in. It's time they go. We need to get our state back, folks. I look forward to doing the Q&A with Minnesota State Senator Mark Curran. I will post it up on our website as well as our Facebook here to let everybody know. Please watch this video. Please share this. Please get it out to everybody and start sharing the information, everybody, because obviously, you know, we had one person on here already, Nicole, that had absolutely no idea about any of this. Hey, Bruce, what's up? Sir, cousin got stabbed getting off the light rail in Minneapolis, and the person was released, and 3 weeks later, the person stabbed an elderly woman and was released again. Well, Bruce, that's what we call pretrial release. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not saying if that guy was on bail that he would not have stabbed somebody else, but what I am saying is had he been given bail and he couldn't afford bail, he would still be in jail right now where he would belong. That's my point. Anybody in Minnesota, Nicole, please share this. We got to get this out there. We got to start holding our leadership accountable. Bottom line, we do. I got to get going. I'll be talking to you guys soon. My allergies are kicking in. As you can see, my annoying cat right here. Bruce, I don't blame you. Believe me. Believe me. 651-402-4868, James with Affordable Bail Bonds. This is just a quarter of the stuff going on in the state of Minnesota right now, but this is the quarter that matters. So I will be getting back to all of you soon, and please share this video, get it out there, start outing these people, and start letting people know what's going on in Minnesota. Start holding your leadership accountable. Start calling the counties, asking, why is this going on? Why are you doing this? We got to get this handled, guys. This is out of control. Okay, midterms are coming up right around the corner, and the midterms are where you need to speak. Okay? We'll talk to you soon. James with Affordable Bail Bonds, 651-402-4868. Bye-bye.